Boys, welcome back. Let's start off with their QB and their captain, Ellie Siegel. Now, I played with Siegel. He's a very smart player, and he has the talents to be the best QB in the league. We'll see how that works out this year. What do you guys think of him? How have you been playing against him? What's that been like?
I played Siegel actually only one time in my life, which was in the Super Bowl. My team played him in the regular season last year, but it happened to be the 1 week I missed. And I've watched him play like after my game once. You can obviously tell he's a great player. He makes big plays, knows how to run a team. He has the mind. But it's time someone dethrones him, So someone else got to win this year.
Okay, Sammy?
In my opinion, he's the best player in the league. It's hard to beat a guy that could beat you with his arm and then beat with his legs. And that's the most important part. And I think we'll see, like last year, this year we're starting the league very late, really. We're about 4 weeks in, we're in the middle of October by the time we really start the league up. So that means our finals are all going to be in the wintertime. And I really think as the weather conditions deteriorate, he's just going to eat that up because as the pass becomes less prominent, he's the best runner in the league. He's going to take advantage of it. That's how he won his playoff games, and it's very hard to stop him. And then he's a very solid defensive player. He plays on the line. He'll play safety, and then compound all of that with the fact that he knows every player in the league because he plays in the Lakewood leagues. He's played in our league for the past 3 years. I think he's going to be very, 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 very hard to beat.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he did have 3 rushing touchdowns just to close that part out.
And why did he own that game? Did he play a game in the rain? I believe he did, but maybe I'm wrong.
Did. He was against.
So that heavily benefits Siegel, heavily. And you're talking a game where you can't pass the ball, and he ends up having 3 rushing touchdowns.
In that kind of game, you got to be a runner. You got to know how to manage the game to get a win.
I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be almost impossible to beat him when the weather's bad.
Okay. All right, let's move on to number 15. Let's talk about Menachem Dubin. I believe this guy's a receiver, and it's interesting that he was drafted so high. That's usually an indication that that person's very good. Dubin has 1 recorded reception. I'm sure he has more, but some of the stats got a little messed up due to the rain. What do you guys think?
Sure, he's a good player. Obviously, like you said, drafted early. Only 1 recorded reception. I don't know what to say to that, but the rain. You said the rain, so I'm sure there's good reasoning there. But drafted early, so he has a lot to show. Really, like if he's gonna be a solid receiver, that's not cut out for being drafted 15. Anyone could be a solid receiver. So hopefully Siegel didn't just draft him because he's one of his friends from Lakewood. Hopefully this guy could play, and then he'll be a good pick.
Yeah, I think Siegel's too smart to just draft someone because he likes them. And we're talking about this before, but he drafted him at high at 15. He didn't think he'd be available at 18. He had to get him because he knew he was a guy. I have to assume he's a very high quality player. And
he did get Albert Cohen at 18.
Exactly. So he got 2 quality guys very, very, very early.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm going to have to assume Menachem Dubin's a great player because Siegel wouldn't have drafted him that high if he didn't really believe in the guy. So I think that's going to be an interesting thing is how a lot of these players we don't know in the league, how they play out. But I'm sure he'll make great use of them.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I agree. Siegel's smart quarterback, smart football player, and it's probably going to work out. But I'm going to have to see some production first.
All right. Let's talk about Alco. I'm sure you guys know Alco.
Not well. I played. He was on the Rams last year, maybe.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, sir.
So I played again. I remember playing him. Yeah, he was a good player. He gave me some issues at the line. He was good.
He's one of my least favorite players to play against on the line because he's very strong. He's very fast. He's going to hit you, and he's got to deal with it. I think he's a great player. He is a great tight end as well. Alco at 18 is a great value pick. I think he was like a 1st or 2nd rounder last year. And it's for a reason. He's very, 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 very strong, tall, big guy. So I think Siegel's really going to utilize that kind of pick early, very versatile. So another great pick.
What does he play as? He's O-line. He's tight end. D-line.
He's tight end. He's tight end.
Yeah, I think he's tight
If
end.
I never understood why he doesn't go out for more of a receiver, especially in the red zone. I'd love to have him out there, take him off the line, throw him as a receiver because he's so tall, and then make them deal with his height. I'm sure Siegel will figure that out in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I think it was a good pick. You said he picked him 18?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great. That's great
It's
value.
It's a good pick. I just think to take anyone who's going to be your tight end D line could be a little early for 18, just because there's a lot of guys who could do it that are going in the
Fair.
20s, 30s.
That's fair.
I could probably argue. I'm nothing against Albert Cohen. He's a sick player. I'm talking about in general any tight end D line. I'm tight end D line. I just think you get someone late. Like me. I don't know where I went. I believe maybe in the 30s. Like, go 15 picks later and get someone else instead of stacking your receivers. That's what I think.
What I like to look at is, well, who went after him where you're like, I would have taken that guy definitely over him.
Yeah, that's a good question. Let me see.
I
don't know
always
exactly.
feel like we'll get to it later. Ralph Hannon
No,
at
I'm not saying
24.
I'm not saying it was
I'm
the wrong
gonna
pick
I'm gonna
at all.
pause the
No,
recording 1 second.
It might have been the right pick. I have no idea.
I don't have all night here.
All right, so we're continuing. We're gonna show our faces instead of the picture.
Oh, you sent it?
Yeah,
Got
I
it.
sent it. All right.
Got it.
So
Next up,
here's what we're looking at. We're looking at ABJ Surya right now, pick number 31. What do you guys think about him?
I've seen him make a lot of big plays last year. I think he's a good player. I also I'm just looking at guys who went after him, to get a good gauge of it.
exactly same thing I'm doing right now, by the way. Listen, is he better than Moose? No, and Moose technically went after him, but ABJ is a good receiver. He's tall, he's smart. He's a great red zone target, and I think
It's a good pick. It depends on the need. I think Siegel could have went in a different direction.
I agree.
But it's definitely not a bad pick.
But mind you, if you're Siegel, you don't necessarily need the world's greatest O line because you're so mobile, and you're able to really get out of trouble probably better than most. So, to not really have picked on the line so early, it not a big problem for him.
Who was his line pick? We'll get to that later. But who was it?
I have no idea. I don't know Yitzhak Ashkenazi. I don't know Shimmy Black, and I have to assume Ike Mavora.
We didn't say Albert Cohen was tight end, so he's line.
He's tight end, but he's not the primary O lineman, nor do I think he is. I think he should be.
No, he's not. It must be either Shimmy Back or Yitzhak Ashkenazi.
Yeah, and I think. How about this? Let's jump into our next two players: Yitzhak Ashkenazi and Shimmy Back. I never heard of either of these guys.
Yeah, we're gonna skip those two. Ike Mavora.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just gonna say
Yitzhak Ashkenazi.
All you want.
Yitzhak Ashkenazi is on record as having 3 receptions, 1 sack, and 1 2-point conversion. So it looks like he's a good player, but that's about all we know at this point. I guess that remains to be seen. For Shimmy, again, I guess a lot is unknown. He is a rookie. He is a Lakewood guy. I guess we just have to see more of him. But yeah, let's move to Ike Mavora. Ike is a quarterback, which to me this makes this the most interesting pick of the draft. Why do you think Siegel took him?
Maybe for his good football mind, have someone who could help him out, help set up the field, like set up the positions.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm gonna go a different direction completely. I'm gonna say that Siegel has plans to jump out as a receiver and let Ike Mavora step in as quarterback and spread the ball out a little bit on a few plays. Kind of Taysom Hill situation going on. Where you're not sure what he's gonna do, and all of a sudden he has the ball in his hands, and Siegel's going deep for a touchdown. So we'll see what tricks they have up their sleeve. You always need a good backup quarterback. We all know Siegel hurt his thumb last year, and big problems. So he doesn't want to have that same problem again. And he's like, let me just draft someone that if anything happens to me, I'll be able to be covered.
Mm-hmm. That's a smart plan. All right, let's go to the overall draft grade for the Jaguars. Sammy, how would you grade the team?
It's hard because I don't know the players so well, but seeing what he has going on, I'd probably give him a B. Probably what he did with his picks, I'll give him a B. I think the Albert Cohen pick's a great pick. Maybe ABJ is a little bit of an overdraft, and other guys, I have no freaking clue.
Okay, Escava, Mike.
I'm gonna have to agree with Sammy. I'm gonna give him a B as well. There's not a lot I can tell you about half of their players, so but having Siegel on the team, MVP, Super Bowl champion, I'll give him the B just for that, even though maybe even should be an A.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, we'll see you guys week 2. Let's see what the Jaguars